Did Donald Trump just use his administration to broker a deal for Larry Ellison, the owner of Oracle, to buy TikTok from the Chinese? Is that what just happened on the public dime and on the public time? The trade representative, Jamie Greer, the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, the involvement of Donald Trump, all to help and benefit a buddy of Donald Trump's, Larry Ellison, now the richest man in the world. Is that what we just watched? Is that what was just announced? Yet another interference by the Trump administration in private economy, in capitalism. Now the government is competing with private capital and negotiating deals to benefit Donald Trump's friends on the public dime. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF on Monday. Let's get down to the economics around it. ByteDance, a company ultimately owned and controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, has owned all aspects of TikTok, including the US operation from the beginning. And pursuant to Chinese law, has to turn over to the Chinese Communist Party whenever it wants. All of its data, all of its servers, has to leave a backdoor for the Chinese government and therefore military to use what is produced and what is obtained on TikTok. That is the reason why under the Biden administration and a bipartisan Congress banned TikTok unless it completely divested itself of the Chinese involvement and Chinese ownership and became a US-owned company. Now, the deal to buy TikTok from the Chinese never came to fruition during the Biden administration, and Donald Trump came in because he fell in love with TikTok. Even though at one time in his life, just while before he was running for office, he believed in the fact that TikTok was being used by the enemy to obtain information and intel from Americans, which is what the United States Supreme Court said as well. But as soon as he won election and he was convinced by his son Barron and others that this TikTok was helping him get elected, suddenly he fell in love with TikTok. But what he's really trying to do from the beginning is benefit his friends and family. There was always rumors that Oracle would be at the heart of any purchase. Oracle, owned by Larry Ellison, has also been hosting on the cloud all of US TikTok's data and information since 2020. It has the deep pockets necessary for there to be a sale in the tens of billions of dollars for somebody to get their hands on the 170 million users of TikTok. And the algorithm, the secret sauce, which promotes one video and one issue over another on the platform. Some other people have been interested. Tucker Carlson said he was interested. The guy from Shark Tank said he was interested, but nobody has the bucks like Donald Trump's buddy, Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is also the father of Scott Ellison, who owns Skydance, that just bought Paramount with the permission of Donald Trump, and will get control over CBS and CBS News, that Ellison family. Now, my problem is how we got here. The Chinese and the Chinese Communist Party, led by Xi, just opened up in terms of negotiating leverage an attack on U.S. chip manufacturers, including NVIDIA, going after them for antitrust so that they have some, no pun intended, chips on their side of the bargaining table against Donald Trump, who's trying to get TikTok sold. So now we have this perverse, warped economic world where our arch enemy China is grabbing leverage to negotiate a commercial sale. And the thing apparently that the United States Trade Representative is worried about, Jamie Greer, is to make sure that the price is fair for the Chinese. First of all, I thought it was America first. I didn't realize we were here to try to make sure the Chinese got fair value for TikTok. What do I care about that? I guess I don't. I mean, if Larry Ellison wants to pay or overpay in order to control that, but that is going to be the announcement. And I wanted to prepare our audience for it. There is going to be an announcement that Larry Ellison is a majority holder of TikTok, or an interested group like Larry Ellison. And if it's not Larry Ellison, it's another buddy that ties back to Donald Trump. We just watched an American president in broad daylight broker a commercial deal with his Chinese counterpart for a private business asset to be sold to a friend of his. So he may not be taking the payment himself or getting a commission, so to speak, but it certainly is benefiting people in his world who then support his administration and so on. We have this unholy alliance of private capitalism and abuse of power combined with the sale of a transaction brokered by a US president from China. I doubt the Chinese believe that Donald Trump got the better of them. I know that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, and Jamie Greer, the trade representative, are bragging about Donald Trump's art of the deal again. But I think it's a disgusting intrusion by a administration into the affairs that should be handled through capitalism. Congress passed a law that required the TikTok to be sold to Americans or get out of the U.S. market. And we should have stood by that. Instead, I've got Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, bragging, you know what helped us in the deal? No, tell me, Scott. The ban. Yeah, of course the ban. Yeah. We just didn't expect the U.S. president to be busy negotiating a deal to benefit his friend while he's president of the United States. Whatever happened to doing the people's business? How is this the people's business? You know, TikTok was going to survive in one form or another. Somebody was going to come forward. Why it has to be brokered by the White House? So unsavory, so dirty. What a dirty business. Do your own job you got elected to do and that you're paid to do. Give us the honest service. I know you're incapable of doing that, Trump, but give us the honest service that people elected you to do. Not running around trying to take stakes. We now own already in the last 2 months. Let me just do the list here. The United States, because of Donald Trump, owns a golden share and has control indirectly over U.S. Steel and its Japanese parent company. We own 15% of Intel, the chip manufacturer, who should have, by all rights, gone out of business and let NVIDIA and AMD buy them. But no, we have to prop them up with a bailout by Donald Trump. Donald Trump also cut a deal to let NVIDIA sell its top AI computer chip to the Chinese as long as we get a 15% royalty. So now we're in business with NVIDIA. We're propping up Intel. We own a rare earth mineral mining company. We own part of US Steel by extension. And now we're brokering the deal for TikTok. I mean, I get that Donald Trump doesn't know how to run a government or the United States of America, but we're not paying him to be a wheeler dealer businessman and competing with private capital. So today was the announcement that the outline is in place for the TikTok sale. The next announcement is going to be the terms, once accepted by Chairman Xi of the Chinese Communist Party. I'd like to be a fly on the wall for Donald Trump, who's going to have a call with Xi about the TikTok sale from a communist country that's our enemy to Donald Trump's private, one of his buddies and billionaire buddies, Larry Ellison. Yeah. Does that make you feel good, people out there that supported Donald Trump or continue to support Donald Trump, that he's making these deals? It's not saving TikTok. It's giving a golden goose directly to his friend of his and directing that and diverting that asset away from others as the president of the United States. So the next announcement I'm going to make is the deal's been cut, and then it's going to be Larry Ellison as part of the buying group. And if it's not him, it's some other major billionaire that I will be able to tie back to Donald Trump. Follow the money. I usually do some sort of Wall Street video to start my morning and start our morning here on Legal AF, but this came up and I wanted to jump on it and get it in front of you ASAP. And for real-time information, go on Legal AF, the Substack, where we're continuing to grow that audience. We're up to 85,000 subscribers, and I do twice a day lives on Legal AF Substack as I continue to grow that audience. So until my next report, hit the subscribe button here. Come over to Legal AF Substack for all the reporting, 10 pieces a day. And thank you for being part of our Legal AF community. I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.